Long before the coming of Christ, God called a prophet named Jonah with a mission unlike any he had ever received. The Lord commanded Jonah to travel to the great city of Nineveh and warn its people that their wickedness had come before him. Nineveh was the capital of the mighty Assyrian Empire, a city known throughout the ancient world for its violence, cruelty, and oppression. Yet even for a city as corrupt as Nineveh, God desired repentance rather than destruction. Jonah understood God's character. He knew that if the people truly turned from their evil ways, the Lord would show them mercy. Jonah did not want that to happen. Instead of obeying God's command, he chose to run in the opposite direction. Jonah traveled to the coastal city of Joppa, where merchant ships departed for distant lands. There he found a ship bound for Tarshish, a destination as far from Nineveh as he could imagine. He paid the fare, boarded the ship, and believed he could leave God's calling behind. But no one can escape the presence of the Creator. As the ship sailed across the Mediterranean Sea, the sky began to darken. Strong winds swept across the water, and towering waves crashed against the wooden vessel. The storm became so violent that even the experienced sailors feared for their lives. They cried out to their own gods, desperately seeking help, while throwing valuable cargo overboard in hopes of saving the ship. In the midst of the chaos, Jonah had gone below deck and fallen into a deep sleep. The captain found him and cried out, "How can you sleep? Get up, call on your God. Perhaps he will take notice of us so that we will not perish." The sailors decided to cast lots to determine who was responsible for this terrible disaster. When the lot fell upon Jonah, they questioned him. "Who are you? Where do you come from? What is your occupation? What people are you from?" Jonah answered honestly, "I am a Hebrew, and I worship the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the dry land." Then Jonah admitted that he was fleeing from the Lord's command. The sailors became even more afraid. They realized they were witnessing the power of the true God. They asked Jonah what they should do to calm the raging sea. Jonah replied, "Pick me up and throw me into the sea, and it will become calm. I know this terrible storm has come upon you because of me." The sailors did not immediately obey. Instead, they rowed with all their strength, hoping to reach the safety of shore without sacrificing Jonah's life. But the storm only grew more violent. Finally, they cried out to the Lord, asking for mercy before lifting Jonah over the side of the ship. The moment Jonah disappeared beneath the waves, something incredible happened. The furious wind stopped. The towering waves settled. The sea became perfectly calm. Filled with awe, the sailors recognized the power of the Lord. They feared him greatly, offered sacrifices, and made vows to worship the God who rules over both land and sea. But Jonah's story was far from over. The Lord appointed a great fish to swallow Jonah, preserving his life beneath the waters. For 3 days and 3 nights, Jonah remained alive inside the great fish. Surrounded by darkness, silence, and complete helplessness, Jonah finally turned his heart back toward God. From deep within the fish, Jonah prayed. He acknowledged God's power over creation. He confessed that salvation belongs to the Lord alone. He remembered God's faithfulness and thanked him for hearing his cry, even from the depths of the sea. God heard Jonah's prayer. At the Lord's command, the great fish carried Jonah safely toward the shore. When it reached dry land, the fish released Jonah, and he stood once again upon solid ground. Then the word of the Lord came to Jonah a second time. Go to the great city of Nineveh and proclaim the message I give you. This time, Jonah obeyed. The people believed God's message. From the greatest to the least, they humbled themselves before God. God saw their genuine repentance. Because the people turned from their sinful ways, the Lord showed them mercy and did not bring the destruction he had warned about. Jonah's story reminds us that no one is beyond God's mercy, not even those who run from him. When we turn back to God, he is always ready to forgive, restore, and give us another chance. His mercy is greater than our failures, and his purpose is never finished with us.